So, let's say you're walking down the street one day, you see something pretty cool. Maybe it's a tree, or in this case, a fire hydrant, and you like taking pictures, so you take a couple pictures, try to maybe frame it up and whatever, blah blah blah. You got some pictures. Cool. But let's say, what if we could take it a little bit further? What if we could really document something, but also document it in like a 3D and virtual world? Take pictures of an object, around the object, from all different perspectives and angles, from below it, from above it, getting each little detail, every little side, every facade, every elevation of that. If we can take those, what can we do with those images? Well, what if I was to tell you that we can take these images and feed it to a computer software and, really, make the computer do the work to an extent, but give it to a software that would basically take these photos and create a 3D model, something that we can manipulate and use, and technically, in a way, once you document this thing, it's yours. So let's take a look. Is this even possible? Well, I mean, it's gotta be possible if I'm making a video on it, right? So let's take a look here. Here we are in a free application called Meshroom, which you can find through a simple Google search. And what I've done here on the left is I've taken those pictures that I showed you, and I have dropped them in here. The program has gone through all of these steps. So at first, it will not have all of this done. It will not show you this. But once you put these photos in, you can then you can click Start. If you really knew a lot about how node-based programs work, you could also manipulate these settings to get a desired output. That's not something that I have done a lot of research on, but it's certainly something I will in the future. But anyways, once we have these photos in, we can click Start. It'll ask if you want to save the output, blah blah blah. Just do whatever you want, I don't really care. But eventually, after all of these steps have been completed, you're going to not only get a point cloud of where different texture information is being sort of pinpointed, you're also going to get a mapping of where each photo was taken around this object, showing the exact angle, etc. And then at the very end, you will get the meshing and the texturing of the object, and that's where it gets really fun. So if I double click on texturing here, give it a second, it is going to texture this mesh that there is, and we'll see exactly what this looks like. If I turn off these point clouds, look at that. A 3D model. A pretty extensive 3D model. I mean, it's even gotten the pavement here, and all the snow, even a little bit of the trees. Now, of course, you could pinpoint those, and for the sake of this, we're probably going to end up just focusing on the fire hydrant and cutting everything else out. But look at the amount of detail that has been captured, and really, I mean, this is just insane. So now, what can we do from here? Well, we can right-click on texture, and we can open the folder of where it has stored some information. In that folder, you will have an OBJ file, and then from there, you can use a free program such as Blender to put this file in and start to really get artistic and creative with it. So now I've already sort of separated this, but I've got this really high quality model, which if I show you here, you can see insane number of polygons. This is something that you really need to fix if you were to really try to render this out in certain ways. You would have to retopo this mesh. And then we got this other mesh, which I manually sort of tried to get to become a little bit more clean. Still, needs to be retopoed a lot of points in here in geometry. So that's kind of the issue of the output of the program. But as you can see here, I've put in an HDRI, so we're getting sort of accurate lighting across this this fire hydrant, and we can do whatever we want with it. It is now ours, and if we want, we can put it in and get a nice render out of it. Maybe we want to use this in a specific scene. Maybe we want to manipulate the lighting that's falling on this object. Yeah, we can do that. Maybe there's a street light. Maybe it is dark outside, and so we're gonna. Maybe it's dark outside. Maybe it is a setting sun. Sun is set. We've got a street light shining down on our fire hydrant. Sure, but of course, you can use this to a certain extent. It will not work for all circumstances, and there are issues. So look, as we can see here, I didn't get good enough pictures from a lower angle to tell the program what it needed to do down here. So from above, looks great. That's where the images were taken from. That's where the data was. But from below, it's not fantastic. Sometimes there will be glitches like this, where there just isn't any geometry or textures made there. So of course, the better pictures you take, the more pictures you take, the more you feed the program, the better the model will come out. And let's see, what else do we need to say? Yeah, so what will this not work on? It won't work for sort of reflective materials. It wouldn't work for, let's say, a car, unless it's a very sort of matte material on the car. So glossy things, or things that like very specific plants, like these plants that are shown in the background, those wouldn't pick up well. If you remember from the pictures, there was actually a sort of orange rod that was sticking up to, you know, locate this for when the snow is being plowed. That didn't come through. You can see it in the texture, but it didn't come through as a 3D component. So these are, you know, don't do reflective things. Don't do sort of small vegetation like grass or sort of branches. It won't work for that. It won't work for glossy things or mirrors, or like if you wanted to scan a glass with water in it, it wouldn't work like that. So altogether, why do this? I think the point here is that you can really document things in a very fine level of detail. And then once you have them, you can do whatever you want. If you want to create an art piece, if you want to create a scene, if you want to document a site for, you know, maybe there's a component on your site, you're an architect or a designer and you want to document something, you can use this to do that. So altogether, really, really cool stuff. This is called Photogrammetry. Really great process, and I encourage you to check it out.